Good day and welcome to another edition of Outside of Genie, where we will be looking today at the racing from Greyville, the polytrack, today being the 14th of December. Before we start looking at the form and the betting, just a few things that I would like to touch on. First of all, Outside of Genie is a service where we do form analysis, and through the form analysis that we do, we give you the punter outsider selections that you can add onto your own selections, and therefore, should these outsider selections arrive, you will be standing in a payout queue laughing. We will have a look at some examples just now. We offer also a subscription service where you can get specified form analysis every day, where we give you race by race selections. We give you outright winner selection. That is the horse that we think will can win the race, and that selection can be at any price. It's not just favors that we give you. We give you outsiders, and some of those outsiders has won before at very good prices. And then we give you two outsider selections in no particular order that you can add on to your selections. We give you a big six and a PA at affordable rate, so you can add on to that, or you can use some of those numbers, add them with your numbers. Hopefully, then you can catch those exotic bets. We also give you suggested trifectas and quartets, and some of them has one. So far, the highest one that we won paid 17,000 rand. We also give you a best bet of the day. When we give you a best bet of the day, we don't give you a horse that is 9 to 10 or 8 to 10. We give you value. Lately, a lot of our best bets has arrived. The other day, we tipped you a Sweet Sensation. Sweet Sensation was at 7 to 2 when we made our selection. That horse drifted to 11 to 1. On Friday on Fairview, we also give you a base bet, which opened at what was 3 to 1 and then drifted to 5 to 1. Just a few examples. So to subscribe for our service costs 500 Rand a month. But since we are already now halfway down in December, you can subscribe now from now till the end of December for 250 Rand for the remainder of December. Contact us on 083 585 5133 to subscribe to our services for the end of December. Then just before we start looking at a form, I just want to quickly touch on some of the results that we gave you yesterday. Yesterday we gave you race 6, number 14, Conchetta as an outsider selection. That horse ran uh, as won the race at 14 to 1. And yeah, we also said that there's put this done in our preview. We said put Dunquist whistle in all of your bets. So if you had the 2 and maybe the 6, you would have collected a dividend of a quartet just under 3,000 Rand. And also in race number 9, we gave you number 3, Build Horizon, which arrived at 20 to 1. That was a outsider selection. And then our outright selection was number 2, Celebration Rock. But I must admit, when I did a Celebration Rock, that was because Celebration Rock was running at Scottsville, where he had a very good record, but they didn't move it to Greyville. But it was still, Celebration Rock was one of our value bets, which we normally recommend you play each way. Still paid 350 a place. So let's now look at our racing for today on the Greyville Poly track. Let's have a look at the betting first. Here we have the betting. Number 1, Macmillan, even money. Number 2, Duchess of Cornwall, 22 to 10. Soweto, 4 to 1, 15 to 2. James Dean, Blue Planet, 12 to 1. Wahhabi, 20 to 1. And 66 to 1. Gloucestershire. So let's have a look here. I think Macmillan in this field today has got a very good chance of winning, since that's the price for being even money. He has been beaten here on the Greyville track by Copper Mountain. Copper Mountain has now won another 2 races. Tonight's fight night has also won again. So definitely Macmillan, I think in this field of Lyle UHL on board, definitely the strongest contender. I've only got one outsider selection in this race since it's a small field, and that is number 4, James Dean. James Dean is by a stallion called Imperial Stride. It wasn't really successful, but the one thing of Imperial Stride is that he's some of his his offspring were really fast, and I think James Dean, as as a 6-year old, only had 5 runs, so certainly must have had his problems. But last time he did show a bit of pace with Muzieni on board, can definitely be involved in the finish. Then I just want to also make a note of this horse, Blue Planet. It's Ideal World by Kalanchi Saya. Um, Now, this is trained by Hewitson. Now, I would have think if this horse had a chance, Lyle would have been on it, but now I see Luke Ferraris is riding it. But it is the first time above him and number 7, Wabi Sabi. So, do include in your quartets. They don't have to be very fast to win this race. Number 6 is a scratching. So let's move on to race number 2, which is another maiden plate over 1,200 meters. Here the betting is as follows. This is what I can't understand. Number 5, King Cyrus 11 to 10. August Red 3 to 1. Lord Carroll 6 to 1. Mexican Cat Dance 9 to 1. Star over Cape Town 12 to 1. 16 to 1. Let's Go Fly. Let's Go Fly and 25 to 1 and longer the rest. Again, here in this race, we have a strong favorite in number 5, King Cyrus, and I think this 4-year-old Silvano by Fordwood mare, what the breeding was going to have his day in the sun today. Has been running there and thereabouts. Last time out, just got beaten under 2 lengths, and it says here gaining late 25.2, 400 to finish third fastest. Before that, uh, uh, also fastest 400 to finish. As running against Good's Pride. Now, Good's Pride is also a reasonably good horse. So I think King Cyrus in this field will probably be too strong for this field. So let's have a look at the outside selection, Mr. Number 1, Mexican Cat Dance, Lyle Hewitson again, drawn 1. This horse has shown some pace in some of his previous races. Now back over the 1,200 meters. Have tried a 1,400 before, but just run under 4 lengths behind Ramsey. And again, this field is not very strong. So number 1, Mexican Cat Dance can be involved in the finish with the champion jockey on board. Here we have 7 Star over Cape Town. Also had many chances. Did run a little bit of a better race last time out, but now bringing it back over 1,200 meters, maybe they're gonna see they got some cups on it now. As tried it before. Yeah, another horse a very good form. Surely this horse finishing at back end of your quartets, where I think you should add it into the back end of your quartets. It will make the quartet pay. So here's number 9, Lord Carroll, also that you can chuck into your quartet. Has also had many chances, Lord Carroll. Lord Carroll currently in the betting at 6 to 1. Definitely also a horse that you can include into your play. So let's move on to race number 3. We have the maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1,900 meters. The betting as follows. Here the betting is number 8, Catalyst 16 to 10, Dancing Sword 5 to 2, Theatrical Moment 7 to 2, 6 to 1, Kind Judy 12 to 1, 30 to 2, Corsage, Cola 20 to 1, and longer the rest. Yeah, here again we're going for the Andre Nel stable in number 4, and that is Dancing Sword. Maybe you can take the double, that might be a good double. Yeah, here we have Dancing Sword, has also been around, and 3 4 lengths behind, but I think today in this field they have a huge chance over this 1,900 meters. It hasn't run 1,900 meters, but I know Turandot was a stayer, and she has thrown some nice offspring, and I think Dancing Sword today with Lai Hewitson on board can go close. My outside selection is race number 5, Corsairs. It's extra cock horse, has run a few places, has been placed on the poly on its first run, but yeah, then after that didn't run in and out races, but in this small field with not a lot of ability, can probably run a forward race. Number 6, Critical Moment, ran a very bad race last time after finishing in the places in his previously 4 runs. And this combination, Miller and Aries, had 2 winners yesterday, of which one was a long shot, so can also be involved in the finish. Yes, number 8, Catalyst, Marcus on board, has run 2 nice races on the poly. So he's improving, can also be, I think, my choice, biggest danger. Here we at race number 4, another maiden plate over 1700 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. The betting as follows: number 4, Hatton Hall, 2-1, Navarino Bay, 5-2, Sonia Dor, 7-2, Lindara, 10-1, 14-1, Hello Again, 20-1, Brushback, 33-1, and better the rest. So let's have a look at race number 4, where my first selection is number 4 from race number 4. Hatton Hall, the favorite, has run some decent races, although comprehensively beaten by 7 lengths by time taken last time. But I think the field that Hatton Hall finds in today not the same quality as that field. Dylan riding from draw 4, and I'm sure Hatton Hall today can run a huge race. Outsider selections is number 2, Sonia Dor, Michael Roberts, Ideal World by Ford Wood. Again, nice breeding. This horse has had a number of placings, so always there and thereabouts, can definitely also land up in box number 1 in this race. And then number 3, Lambara. This is by Langari. Yeah, I must say, I think Langari was a bit of a disappointment as a stallion. I was thinking that he's gonna breed some nice horses. I don't know if it's the mares that he got, but certainly his horses, he's not running, he's not setting the world alight. But this horse has been showing that it's been running a few places here. It ran on nicely behind Fade to Black. Um, and also, yeah, as I said again, the quality of some of the fields today, with the biggest respect to the owners and the trainers, not very good, can probably be placed in this field. Navarino Bay is also a horse that has been improving at Zabinakitris by Al Malftime, and I think also showed huge improvement last time. And I did expect that improvement, um, and I would think the 1700 meters would suit, as last time out he was running on fastest 400 to finish. And so also the cock horse, so keep an eye out on that one. I think will also run a huge race. Then here's another horse, number 11, Fort Wiley, currently at 33-1. Has only been over short distances. Now today it's a Wiley Hall by Ford with me, going for the distance for the first time, and maybe a horse that you want to include in the back end of your quartet. Should this come in, you will be standing in a payout queue, laughing, franking outside a Genie. So let's move on to race number 5, which is a fillies and mares 62 handicap over 1600 meters, class E, average medal rating 57. Let's have a look here at the field. Here we have number 10, Noble Sequences. It's this is what I can't understand about technology. Number Princess 7-2, Green Ice 5-1, Sands Dancer 11-2, Capricia 16-1, Purple and Gold 8-1, 8-1 Pina Colada, Just One More 16-1, Glad I Am 16-1, Allure 16-1, Call Me Tonight 16-1, and 18-1, and better the rest. Now let's have a look here. This is where my first selection is number 10. Now, sorry, is number 5. But number 10 is the same stable, and which is the favorite, Noble Princess, and has had some nice races over the 1400 meters, now going to 1600 meters for the first time with GENIE on board. But we all know that the stable jockey is Marco van Rensburg, and he's riding number 5, Allure, Al Ruan. And I've just got a feeling that this horse is going to be the business. Did win over 1200 meters last time, but this horse has run over the 1600 meters for 2 seconds, 3 firsts, and a fourth. And I think that is the reason why Van Rensburg is riding it. They're going to bring this horse. This horse is going to run on from behind. And maybe that they might decide to use number 10 as the pacemaker. I don't know, because it's the same owner, same stable. So they might do that to make the pace hard, to give Alroon a chance to run on. But it's just a thought. It's not a certainty. But my suggestion is rate Alroon at 16-1. I think this horse already has won 6 races, and of which one was on the poly track here with Lyle Hewitson on board, and that day winning at 15-1 and can repeat again today. Then my outsider selections is number 4, which is Purple and Gold. Purple and Gold is always a horse who's there and thereabouts, has won over here over a longer distance, but over this distance, 69 meters has had the second and 2 thirds. But this horse always runs from the front, and maybe with the shorter distance will suit today. Definitely a horse you cannot leave out of your calculations. And then my other outsider selection is number 12, which is Pina Colada. Pina Colada from the Gary Rich stable, but it is drawn 12, is drawn a little bit wide. But you can see here also was running over the 1600 meters, 18 runs, 2 seconds, 2 firsts, 3 seconds, 2 thirds, and 2 fourths. And over this course and distance has been placed 3 times second. This always runs on well, and it's always not too far off the winner. And one of these days, Pina Colada is going to pop in and get his 3rd win under the belt. Then we move on to the next race, which is race number 6, and that is a merit-rated 76 handicap over 1400 meters. Let's have a look at the betting here. The betting as follows: race number 6, Maitland Magic 28-10, 3-1 Cool Runnings, Pansula 6-1, Truly Wicked 6-1, Kaisera 7-1, Just for the Penny 14-1 and 16-1, and betted the rest. Now, at the bottom, you'll see a horse here, number 3, 33-1, Theravada. And that is my first selection, number 3. I couldn't believe this horse is 33-1. I nearly fell off my chair when I saw that. Because if you have a look at this race is a D72. This horse has run in this divisions in Gauteng. He even won a race on a 66. But 2 runs ago, he ran a nice race and a graduation in 82. And this horse will be running on at the end. They only had 2 runs on the poly so far. And I think last time out it says here East was cut into, everything went wrong. And I think Theravada today is going to run a huge race. See, what also shows me, this horse merit rating is 72, and his merit rating didn't really go that up and down. So it shows that the handicapper believes that this horse is running to his rating. And I think if you have a look here and on 72, he ran against Lou Vane, slow, challenged, and then after that he won the race. And I think Lou Vane has won another race after that. So, and then stopped the clocks. He ran against a much stronger field. And as I said last time, everything went wrong. So my selection here, number 3. My outsider selection in this race is number 5, which is Agent Murphy. Also a horse that won its maiden, and after that has run a few nice races. But the race that caught my eye was the one against Farland, because Farland came out last week to win another race, and I think there was like Farland's 5th or 6th win already. And this horse hasn't been too far, but if you also have a look, as I said before, this is a D Division 72. But Agent Murphy has been running in an 81 C division, a B division 83 against Kaysen, 74, 78. So he has been running against strongest since winning its maiden. And I think number 5, Agent Murphy, a serious contender in this race. Then we go down to number 9, Kaosira. Kaosira also in the same boat. As you can see here, has been running in C divisions, even in B division, and not been badly beaten. 3 runs ago, he beat Baby Shoes. Baby Shoes came out on Sunday and won another race. So I think Kaosira definitely have the ability to go in here again in this race with Lyle Hewitson on board, although drawn a little bit wide, but I don't think that will be a problem. Let's move on to now to race number 7, which is a minute 76 handicap over 1400 meters, where the betting is as follows. The betting as follows: number 7, 2 for us, 5 to 2, Bedazzled Joker at 5 to 1, Lord Wiley 11 to 2, Spirit of My Fate 6 to 1, 9 to 1, Gentleman's Way, 9 to 1, Tromenso, 14 to 1, and Better the Rest. Now here my first selection is number 7 in race number 7, and that is number 7, 2 of Us. I have been following this horse now for a while, and I have been preaching this way, this horse, as you can see here, was also beaten by Farland last time, just before the race. As I said, Farland came out and won again. Here you got Farland again. Now, so Farland, this horse ran close to Farland twice, and since Farland has won again, that should surely enhance this horse chances. And as run in Gauteng before, where it also run against in an 82. This race now being a 74. They run an 82 behind Lone Survivor. Bohica is a really good horse. Silver Guard, all top horses. And I think number 7, 2 of Us definitely will be hard to beat in this field. Outside the selections that I do a favor is number 3, Lord Wiley. Now, Lord Wiley Hall by Agronaut May. And I think this horse has won a nice maiden, and in the last time out followed up with a 4th behind Purple Powerhouse, and out of that race already 7 runners and 1 winner. It says here move up, and I'm sure the 1400 meter would suit Lord Wiley much better than these shorter distances. And then my other outsider selection is number 11, which is Tromso. Patrick Lunn now back training for himself, and I think and this horse has also run some nice races his last 2 races, and I do feel that number 11 Tromso over this 1400 meters is going to be also running a huge race, although drawn a little bit wide, but I think it might not be that disadvantage. Then we move on to race number 8. Race number 8 we have um, measured the 72 handicap over 1200 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Number 1, Purple Powerhouse for 19 to 10. Great Guy 4 to 1. Big Sky Country 5 to 1. Trading Waters 9 to 1. Specific Winter 9 to 1. Elegant General 9 to 1. 10 to 1. Miss Mananu 25 to 1. And Better the Rest. So here my first selection on the 8th race is number 8, which is a Big Sky Country. Paul Lafferty, he is getting a few winners. Warren Kennedy riding this horse 3 runs ago, won its maiden, and really won well on the poly. And now it's caution distance, 1 run, 1 win. Last time out ran second behind Walker Typhoon under a length, and I've got a feeling that Walker Typhoon is going to go on and win quite a few races. So I believe that was really a huge run. So in this race, my preference is number 8, Big Sky Country. Then for outsider selections, you're going to look at number 1, which is Trading Water. I did fancy last time out Trading Water. I did give it as my first selection, outright selection. It was 18 to 1, and this horse was running over 1200 meters, and I was praying for him to get to the line, but unfortunately he was run out of it by Bedazzled Joker, but still ran second at 18 to 1, paying nicely for the place. And then my other outsider selection is number 2, Pacific Winter. It's an ex-Joburg horse, and now running in Natal, KwaZulu-Natal. I didn't fare badly in its first 2 outings, and I think has been running against a little bit stronger than his meeting in this field. This is a Dean 69. I have been running in 84, 78. So I think Pacific Winter can be involved in this here in this finish of this race, especially with Muzieni on board. Then we move on to race number 9. Race number 9 is a fully term merit rated 67 handicap, class E64. Betting as follows. Here the betting is number 1, Umzanduzi 22 to 10, Royal View 11 to 2, At Your Request 6 to 1, 6 to 1 Ariaro Spinner, Yar 6 to 1, 12 to 1 Top Salute, 16 to 1, and better the rest. Here my first selection is the number 1. This horse from Justin Snape with Lyle Hewson on board did win its maiden last time out, but I've got a feeling that this horse is going to become, the way it runs, is going to win a few races, and being this not a very strong last race, I think that this horse can go in. I was one of those guys that always believe you must give a horse a chance after the maiden, but that trend is not relevant anymore today. I came to realize that, and even last week in Cape Town, I gave a horse that won it maiden. I make it my best bet of the day to follow up, and the horse duly won. And I think that this can be the same. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was also from the Justin Snape stable, come to think of it. Force 4 or something like that was the horse's name. So my first selection, number 1. Outside the selection, yes, number 3, Top Salute. Although this horse has been running over 1,400 meters or 1,600 meters, he's got such a lot of pace. And I do believe that maybe the 1,200 meters might be a little bit short, but I can assure you this horse will be in front, turning from home, and he's going to make them run to say, come and catch me. Then my other outsider selection is number 10, which is Yars. This is also a horse that loves to poly. Has had 31 runs, 4 wins, 6 places, but not over the distance. I'm not sure about Yars about this distance. He's only had run once over this distance, but didn't run too badly. And maybe last time out running on, maybe being an older horse now would now prefer the longer distances. So do include in your play. So that brings us to the end of this preview. I hope I could point you in the right direction, and that, as I always say, break a leg.